Welcome back, everybody. You've made it to week 2 of me driving back and forth on a field with a tractor, and I don't know where Shadow is. He's somewhere. He didn't go to Waffle House because I sold his truck.
Yeah, that's okay though. I'm still on field 12, sowing canola.
Canola.
Actually, we're gonna need a refill on this cedar.
I just realized we have no front loaders.
We also don't have anything that can take twin wheels. So or not twin wheels, thin wheels. So if we try to fertilize, we're gonna be crushing crop.
You know, I used to like that idea used to bother me, and then I was riding home on the bus one day and I noticed the one of the farms around here, they have one of the big pivot irrigation systems.
Uh-huh.
Well, that crushes their crop. They have a nice little path where the pivot runs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, cool. It just means we have to drive very, very carefully.
Yeah. Oh, come on. The only thing that really gets my goat about this map is that it's really hard, like how they placed the pallets of seed and fertilizer you start off with. It's really hard to say load seed because the game thinks you're trying to load fertilizer, so it'll like fill the fertilizer tank in the seeder and then it won't fill the seed tank, and you have to get it positioned just right to trigger the seed.
You know what Giants needs to do? They need to add a goat to the game.
A goat would solve everything. Isn't the mascot of the game? No, that was agricultural simulator, right? Where there's a goat. Some farming game has a goat as a mascot. Or am I just thinking of Goat Simulator? I might just be thinking of Goat Simulator.
Oh, that game started its own genre of crap.
Yeah, of games intentionally being low effort and crap to get your money.
Yeah. It wasn't funny the first time, but they made 20 more games out of it.
Grass Simulator somehow has guns.
What was it that when they
Still
made
better than Call of Duty.
when they made Goat Simulator into an MMO, it was like, really? We're going that route now?
Did they? I
Yes.
never heard that. That
Yes.
is crazy.
It's a full.
Oh wow.
If you have it, you go in, and it's now a full-on MMO type thing, kind of.
So I want to see, like, I really hope, like, the tank goat, like, has a tank turret on the top of his head, and, like, the DPS goats have, like, those Phalanx cannons from the Navy.
God. Don't give him any ideas. Why did that not cut? There's a oh.
The healer goat just runs around with Narcan. Oh my God.
So you have feelings about Call of Duty, huh?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of the shooter genre in general. I like playing Battlefield from time to time, but I don't get super hardcore into it, and I really only play it once in a while. But yeah, shooters just aren't really my type of game. Besides, like, unless you count Fallout and Mass Effect as shooters.
No, they're not really.
I count them more as RPGs.
Yeah. I'm failing like basic plowing 101 over here.
Oh boy. Oh, we've almost got this field seeded. We're like 2/3 of the way.
This field is, well, it's a ways away from being done.
The nice part about plowing, though, you don't have to cultivate after. You can just seed on top of the plow.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I think that because I'm cultivating in the straw that we should get some sort of bonus on that.
Right? Some kind of fertilized bonus. That would be nice. Though they actually, I mean, you're pretty up to date with like the new stuff that's been added in 17. Like, do you follow Giants or anything on Twitter?
I do, but I only get on Twitter randomly.
Gotcha. Well, like, you know about the cover crop they added, so you could
radish oil.
plant. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I knew about that. It's just, it's like, what's if I'm plowing in the straw? I really think I should get something out of this effort.
I wonder if that's something real farmers do, just like plow in the straw, because every time I go by a wheat field after it's harvested, they've been baled.
Most of the
But
time
I
they
wonder
probably,
if there's ever a time where they...
so most of the time they probably have a baler, unlike us. They're 15,000 in a Wobble House truck.
Yeah. The balers are decently expensive too. I think the cheapest baler is like $50,000.
Yeah, and it's a round baler, which you then have to fight with.
I like round baling.
I hate round
You
baling.
can anytime you want to collect some round bales, just invite me back on the server. I'll stack those for you. I don't know why. Like the last like 2 live streams in a row have been dealing with round bales. I'm surprised I haven't lost all of my subscribers. First we did straw round baling, and then we did, oh no, I lied, and then we cut down a whole field of trees and then turned that field into a grass field, and then we did wrapped round bales for silage.
Yeah, yeah, that's too much. I like my nice square bales. I can stack them like I did in my Farm Sim 15 Pennsylvania life, because I can stack them all real nice and pretty.
You know what idea you had with Farm Sim 15 that I thought was really unique and cool, but also I appreciate why you stopped it, because it really took a toll on the game, was when you did your orchard life and you started with all the fields like overgrown.
Oh god, yes, that murdered the
with
game.
the trees. Yeah, I can appreciate why you stopped that, but I thought it was a really cool and unique idea.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been something I would have tried again, except for the fact that it probably would have been better in 17, because they've done a better job of frame rate management, but it just, yeah, you cut down that many trees and leave them laying there and you're just gonna suffer.
Yeah, and I can only imagine how long it took you to actually clear out a field of trees.
Oh, it took forever. If I hadn't been an idiot and put oak trees all over the place, it would have been faster.
Yeah. Oh look, we've had our farm overtaken by a big forest of pine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The logging I feel is better in 17, though that is largely due to the fact that you can strap them to the trailers now.
Yes.
They do tend to, if you don't strap them, they do tend to like vibrate ever so slightly on their own once you get a big pile on the trailer. So you kind of do have to strap them down until you're ready to add more to the pile. Otherwise, they're gonna vibrate their way out. But that's the biggest physics bug that I've seen in Farming Sim, and that's kind of saying something.
Yeah, the rest of the physics issues aren't bugs, just Giants don't care.
Features, they're features.
Yes, unintended functionality.
Yeah.
I used that with a client once. They didn't think it was very funny.
Oh boy. I'm just trying to think of how I can work that into my field. I don't think I can. Unintended functionality. Nope. Nope. Usually if I have to use those words, it's really not a good thing. So that's.
Hey,
we used the AED on the wrong person. Crap.
Well, Hmm.
That kind of defeats the whole purpose of the automated part, though. So
That would be a shocking error.
yeah, we actually had a couple of paramedics do that. Someone had their knee on the cot, and his partner didn't say clear and just shocked, and he shocked his partner, and partner spent 3 days in the hospital, and they're not partners anymore. Because obviously, like, cot's metal, knee touching the cot, yeah, not a good experience.
I've always wondered. It always drove me crazy when I did search and rescue and we had metal cots. I'm like, I'm sorry, carbon fiber. We're hiking. Give us something lighter.
Oh man. I'm glad. I'm partly disappointed and partly glad I live in a more urban area. We do have parks and we do have hiking trails, but nothing like Colorado or Kentucky or anything like that. It's their metro parks, so you can hike for a couple miles, but you're not going to be going up mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which makes it easy if we get a call into the parks, but also they are really beautiful. Like, I love going to Kentucky and camping and hiking and stuff.
Yeah, right as the big snow season started, some bright sparks decided to go climb one of the 14ers here, and the rescue parties had to go up in a snowstorm up to 13,500 feet to retrieve them.
Yep, that would be my cue to move out of the state. No, just kidding. But not fun. No way. See, the most that we would have to do here, and bear in mind, I just want to put in a disclaimer. I don't actually work in the field yet. I've just had to do my clinical times. I get my EMT cert at the end of December. So I've just been doing my free labor clinical times. I'm not actually an EMT yet. It's fun when you get a patient who there's nothing wrong with them, but they can't, all of a sudden they are unable to walk down the 7 flights of stairs to your ambulance, so you gotta get a stair chair. Yeah. I stubbed my toe. Can you walk to the ambulance? No.
Well, I mean,
fine.
They're
calling
gonna
fire for a lift assist.
They're gonna be charged out the nose for the ambulance anyway. You might as well take full advantage of it.
That is true. That is, I'm hoping to get on a fire department as opposed to a private service ambulance company. But everyone kind of has to do their time in the private service before they can get hired, and just because I'm going to be working as an EMT does not mean I'm satisfied with the way the healthcare system works.
My tractor's tipping over sideways. I'm falling in the furrow. No! Oh, wait, never mind. I don't care. My tractor's dirty. How did I get dirt up there?
It just means you're experienced.
Seriously, like there's dirt on places of this cabin. I'm like, how is that happening? And yet
You know what?
There's no dirt.
What I always like about the dirt in the cabin.
What?
Is you're working a field and you haven't gotten out of the tractor since it was all like perfectly clean and everything, and there's muddy boot prints all over the cab.
That's true. That's true. I'm particularly interested in the fact that there appears to be mud on the carpet of the entryway of this tractor on the wall, which would make you think that somebody had a muddy hand, yet the hand controls are all perfectly clean. So either I'm driving with my boot on the wall of the tractor, or somebody didn't think this through.
Hey, long hours in the tractor, you gotta stretch your legs somehow.
That's true. The tractor has more room than the airline seats I'm usually in, so...
Amen. I'm not gonna pretend that I've flown as much as you have, but I used to fly... When I lived with my mom, I lived in LA, and I had to fly to Detroit when I had visited my dad, so I was in a plane probably 6 times a year for 10 years.
LA,
That's
the land
probably
of
like
crazy people.
a month for you.
Not-
6 times in a month.
Not quite. It used to be, yeah. My problem is mine are all last minute and sometimes not fun. Who wants to go to Pensacola, Florida? No, it wasn't Pensacola. It was Tallahassee. Who wants to go to Tallahassee? Nobody. It's literally the armpit of Florida. Just look. It looks like an armpit. It's
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I want to go to Pensacola.
no, not Pensacola. Tallahassee.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Oh yeah, but no, I'm with you on disliking LA. It was awful.
All my work was on Hollywood Boulevard, so it was even worse. Other than the time that I got to
Dude.
see the furry get into a fight with the superhero, that was hilarious.
So, what I always find funny, like when people like find out I'm from LA or something, like it comes up, or they're talking about LA and how much they want to live there, and I'm just like, no, you don't. Trust me. A lot of times, if it's a guy, a big thing will come up where it's like, oh, but California girls are so attractive, and it's like, no, they're really not. The attractive girls you see in California are Midwest girls on vacation. Oh.
I'm almost done with this field. Are you almost done with your field?
Yes, I'm on the last pass.
Excellent.
I feel like we should get a cultivator. Or not a cultivator, a fertilizer.
I was about to say we have a cultivator.
Sorry, my brain is still disappointed from Michigan losing to Ohio State.
Sports ball.
Good old sports ball.
Someone sports the ball better than the other sports ball team.
Yeah, Michigan sports better than Ohio sports, but the refs didn't care. And the refs were like, okay, Ohio wins. That's the gist of it. I generally don't care, but that is the one football game I watch, like, through to completion per year is the Ohio State-Michigan game. But otherwise, I don't really care about sports, even slightly. And the only reason I even pay attention to that game is because it's like a big deal for my family. We all go to my grandma's house and like eat all day and bust each other's chops and stuff like that. So
The only thing about the only thing I know for sure about sports ball is it's the most expensive thing on your cable bill. Because they don't itemize it.
I don't have cable.
Well,
I go to friends that have cable and abuse their cable.
it is the most expensive thing on your cable TV bill, even though it's not itemized. It is the most expensive thing.
Okie dokie. What do you want me to do next, boss?
What do we want to put on this field?
Do you want to do barley on both 15 and 14, or do you want to do two different?
Should we hedge our bets that, well, if we add these two fields together, are they about the size of 12?
Yeah.
Okay, then put barley on both.
Okay. I'm gonna start on. Are you gonna plow the other field, or are you just gonna call it good?
I'm gonna call it good.
Okay. I'll start on 14 then.
Now, I'm wondering how many comments I've gotten in the past episode and a quarter-ish, episode and a half-ish, of don't do it in cab. And the number of people who, when I go out of cab and do it from outside, are going to be like, do it in cab.
Well, I'm playing from primarily out of cab, so
All
we
right,
can send
so
the in-cab people to your channel and the out-of-cab people to my channel, and there's a
there
happy
we
medium.
go. So if you've complained about me driving in cab, go to Shadow's channel, leave me alone. I'm on the second to last pass.
So you know what I realized last
Oops.
time I was live streaming FSX was that I never got around to flying a four-engine turboprop.
You know
An
what
old
else you
school
didn't get around to
four-engine
doing?
turboprop. Huh.
Flying a Boeing 377.
Well, that's what I was referring to.
That's not a turboprop.
Well, no, it's not. It's a regular prop. But that was before the props became turbo.
That's back in the day where, hey, you screwed up. I'm just going to catch on fire and burn now.
The PMDG J41 did that.
You caught a plane on fire, huh?
Yep, that was. I actually got it on camera. We had abort the takeoff and everything. There's
Nice.
smoke pouring out. The smoke pouring out of the plane, and yeah.
Yeah, I could imagine an RTO in a 377 would be a little bit more nail biting.
Yeah. Oh, in my latest live stream, I actually did have a rejected takeoff in the Q400 because it was nothing wrong with the plane. It was my control input was borked. My rudder control was inverted somehow. So once the nose wheel went dead and the rudder came alive, all of a sudden I was veering veering in the opposite direction and like, oh god, what's going on? Boarded takeoff. Tried again, same thing happened. What? And then I figured it out.
I've had a real RTO in 737 and a CRJ 200.
Oh, I've never flown anything smaller than an A319, just because I've never flown any distance shorter than LA to Detroit.
It wasn't a short flight. It was Chicago to Montreal.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a decent hop. What is that, like 2.5, 3 hours?
On a CRJ, it feels like 30 hours.
So if you thought economy class was cramped before,
Pretty much.
I've always wanted to fly like a Q2 or a CRJ2 just to say I've done it.
I've flown in a Q100.
Really?
Yep. That was
That's
Seattle to Walla Walla, Washington.
good old Walla Walla, Washington. I've never been there, but it's there's something interesting about it, I think, besides the name. I think you've talked about it before on your channel. I think that's where I recognize it from, where I recognize the name from.
Yeah, I was born there.
Oh, okay. Then yeah.
Okay. Now, let's...
Did you do, I think you did a FSX plane spotlight, either flying to Walla Walla or centered around Walla Walla at some point as well.
Well, yeah, I took off and landed at Walla as is my usual spotlights. All aboard, flight.
Is it really everyone?
Just about everyone is taking off and landing back at the same airport. Unless I can't find the airport, then it's just landing wherever I can find an airport.
What? Oh, I always thought that you did, like, an airport that was relevant to the plane's history.
Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes, yeah. I think what was I doing? Oh, that one was a Q200. So I was flying out of Walla Walla because Alaska Air or Horizon Air uprated their 100s to 200s out of Walla Walla. Or maybe it was the 400.
Gotcha.
No, I think I did the Q400 out of Walla Walla because when Alaska Air sold off all of their smaller planes, now there's a milk run out of Seattle that stops in like 4 places.
Gotcha. Oh, crap.
Don't step in it.
Yeah, I didn't change the seed.
Well, you're helpful.
I want to grab the cultivator?
Um,
Or the plow?
um, I'm pondering the loss of the money in the seed.
It's only used 5% of the seed. Or no, sorry, 25% of the seed, 5% of the fertilizer.
Just switch to barley and do the rest of the field in barley.
Okay, I can do that.
This is what happens when you hire people from Waffle House. I'm gonna go and let me take the tractor.
Something that I've noticed in regards to seed usage in this game, I don't know if it's been in every Farming Sim game and I just haven't noticed it, or if it's new to Farming Sim 17, but different seed types use the seed at different rates depending on their density and yield per acre.
I I want to say that it's always been like, or it's been like that since 15. I thought, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know, it's just the first time I'm noticing it. So it's, I very well could have just not noticed it in 15.
I'm looking for gold
I
nuggets
don't know,
around the house.
I did like 15 better than 2013, but I feel like the improvement from 15 to 17 is much better than the improvement from 13 to 15.
Well, at least the launch was improved because, going from falling flat on your face to not is a huge improvement.
Yeah. Can you believe that they've sold 1 million copies already of 17?
Yeah, I guess I can sort of believe that.
I just
It's
didn't think that the game was that popular. I still thought it was more of a niche.
well, certain people have played it enough that it's become a joke game for a lot of people. So,
Yeah, that's true too.
you know what I would like? I would like to be able to open the chicken pen. I want to open the fence. Chickens, what do you
Yeah,
need?
instead of having to jump over it.
What do you
And
need?
I wish that the eggs would actually stay in the hen house.
Yeah,
I've
little,
never
I love
known a
the,
chicken to just lay an egg in the middle of the field and not in a nest.
I do love the little hen house, little wheeled thing. It's kind of cool. Do we have to give them food and water?
No,
No.
they're completely free eggs.
Well,
But they give you next to nothing in money, but in hard mode, all money is good money.
yeah, I got one egg.
Well, we are playing at 1 time speed, but I'm also seeding, so that's for the best.
Yeah, that's the only reason that we're still playing at 1 time speed, because I don't want to risk the weird banded look of the fields.
Yeah. I've been noticing, at least on my dedicated server, it still happens even when you seed at 1 time speed sometimes. There's just a section of the field that doesn't update as fast as the rest of the field.
I thought this was a chainsaw. I thought I'd found a bonanza and found a chainsaw, but it's a hedge trimmer. False alarm. Ooh,
I do wish they added more field or more hand tools than just chainsaws.
there's a grinder.
I don't know what I'd do with them, but it would be cool.
There's an angle grinder in here. There's a mod I think that I'm going to add in relatively soon. It's in. Is it in beta? Yeah, it's in beta in the mod hub. That I reviewed the last week of November. It's the repair mod. Lets you repair your equipment. And
Ooh.
I was like, that would be that's really cool. It would be a good use for hand tools, though.
Yeah, throw some farm mechanic simulator in with farming simulator. I can get behind that.
Not farm mechanic, that was crap. Car mechanic would be better.
Car mechanic. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was made by the same people.
It
I know,
is,
I never played it myself.
It is, but you can tell that farm mechanic was their first attempt. Then came truck mechanic, and then car mechanic 2014, then car mechanic 2016 with all of that DLC, And now they're supposedly bringing out Train Mechanic.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. If they do that, then I'm going to say, well, where's Airplane Mechanic Simulator?
Then you just enlist in the Air Force.
No. All right, what am I going to
I've got
do?
several friends that are enlisted.
What am I going to do while you are seeding? I'm done looking for gold nuggets
Oh,
because I'm bored.
you know what's free fertilizer that would be really smart to take advantage of in hard mode is the weeders. Because those add a layer of fertilizer without actually using fertilizer.
True. I know it's too heavy. I want to push it. Stupid, dumb game.
The only downside is that I think the base weeder is still like over $30,000 compared to the base fertilizer being like 12,000 or something like that.
Yes, $34,000. That's a lot of monies.
Fertilizer's expensive this time around though.
Yeah.
But say a field takes an average of 1,000 fertilizer to get all 3 steps of fertilization. 1,000 fertilizer goes for like $1,200. So, yeah, you would have to like basically do 10 or 13 fields to pay that off.
What I am thinking though is we have 2 of these case tractors, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking one of them go bye-bye.
Yeah, that's what I did in my single player. I sold one of the case tractors, maxed out my loan, and bought a new Holland T5 with thin wheels to do the fertilizing work.
Gotta blink that out. Okay, where is my vehicle overview? All right. So I've got 2 cases here. I wish there was a way to tell which one was which.
You do get more money for driving one to the shop. Remember that, so you can just.
I know, but how do I tell, like in the vehicle overview? Because one of them's got 88
true.
days and it's costing me $912 a day. The other one's costing me $747.
What's the hour?
No, it just says 88 days. It doesn't say hours.
Oh, really? Well, the one that's going to be more expensive is going to be the one with more working hours on it. So the one that I'm in is at 41.7.
You're in the one that needs to go.
Okay, I can stop real quick and swap tractors.
I'll bring you the other character.
Chinese fire drill.
Yes. And I've got 1 egg in my pocket.
I'm actually curious how much 1 egg will sell for.
All right, we will try to sell 1 egg. Let's see if we can figure out where 1 egg sells.
There's just like a random house in town that takes them.
Is there? Is that it?
I think there's a couple places in town actually, but oh, actually, I think one of them is a breakfast place, so not so random.
Okay, so I just have to find the place that's going to take the egg. This time I got to the right turn.
At the Wobble House.
Yes, at the Wobble House. This time I got to the right turn and I didn't even bother to look. I just turned.
Yeah, eventually you stop caring about the AI. You're like, they're either going to stop or we're going to have hilarity, so either way, I'm going.
Right. I still don't like that their vehicles are basically giant bricks.
You know what I wish they would do? I wish they would put more care into making the AI vehicles, and then I wish they would put the AI vehicles up for sale instead of just like 2 pickup trucks.
Yes.
Which 2 pickup trucks is better than 1 pickup truck from 15, and they've also released a I don't know if you're gonna cover it in a mod spotlight or not, but Giants put out a Mustang-esque car on the mod hub.
Yeah, that was last week. And I made fun of it because if you read the oh my God, where did these eggs go? If you read the blog Jalopnik et al. Um, there's always a accident involving Mustangs and cars and coffee. So it amazingly, I had an accident while driving the Mustang. All right, I'm going to sell
Oh boy.
one egg, $5.
$5 an egg. That's an expensive egg.
That is an expensive. Well, let's think about it.
Organic.
It is organic, and it's obviously a large egg. $5 is still a little bit much, but okay, I'm all right with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Though, maybe they're eggs for breeding more chickens because there is a rooster in the pen. Maybe they're
Yeah,
not breakfast eggs.
maybe. Not at that place I just went to. They're breakfast eggs now.
Oh. Waiter, there's a beak in my eggs.
Do not enter. Well, I just entered. What you gonna do about it?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if this commercial is nationwide, but have you heard the Arby's commercial on the radio that's they basically allude to that lady that sued McDonald's for hot coffee? They're like, if your favorite part of a sizzling fajita is the hot skillet, well, too bad, you can't have it, it's too hot. Remember the coffee lady?
That is, I don't listen to commercial radio, so yeah, not familiar with it.
I don't have an MP3 player in my car, and my CD player's broken, so I have no other choice.
We have a there's a radio station here in Colorado that's is a public broadcaster that's just music.
Oh, nice.
What do I need to buy? I've forgotten what I'm buying. Oh,
There's like no good radio stations where I am. There's a whole bunch of country music stations, and then there's like one rock and roll station, but they play mostly like new teen rock instead of like classic rock, so it's crap. And then there's like a whole bunch of, hits from today music stations that are basically club music and hip hop, and none of that is the kind of music I listen to, so I'm just
uh,
kind of out of luck.
so to get a Steyr with narrow tires, it cost us 82 grand. That's the cheapest one that you can get. Oh no, you can get a Hurleyman for
The
45 grand.
Hurleyman has the
Hurleyman,
Hurleyman has thin wheels.
yeah, you can get a Hurleyman with narrow tires for $45,000.
Well, we don't have a fertilizer to use with the narrow tires yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at that. We're kind of
Okay.
we're in trouble.
The cheapest fertilizer spreader I think is like $12,000, and it has a 12-meter working width, or it's like $9,000, something in that neighborhood.
$6,300.
Okay.
Hmm.
It'd probably be all that Hurleyman could handle.
You're right. Hmm. All right. Well, we're gonna have to get a bank loan. There's a bank right down here. How convenient.
Don't think of it as a bank. Think of it as a credit union. It helps me and my blood pressure. I don't like dealing with banks.
All right. So we need. I don't know. Let's just. No, not repay. That's stupid. The other direction. Let's go to 150. There we go. That'll give us
I
some
used to bank
wiggle room.
with a bank, And that was the biggest mistake ever. Like, they kept calling me and, like, emailing me and stuff about credit cards. They're like, hey, you want a credit card? I'm like, no, I don't want a credit card. Leave me alone.
Well, that's what you get for going to
No,
Wells
I don't
Fargo.
want to do anything. Huh?
That's what
No,
you get for
it
going to Wells
wasn't
Fargo.
Wells Fargo, thankfully. No, it wasn't Wells Fargo, thankfully. It was, but then I made a switch to a credit union, and I haven't had one phone call that I didn't want. It's so nice. Maybe I just got lucky and got a good credit union. I'm sure there's bad credit unions out there as well, but in my experience is credit unions are better than banks.
You're gonna love the look of the Hurleyman with thin tires. It's amazing.
Is it the same? Is it the default tractor from 15? Like
Yeah,
one you get
the
two or three of?
The H488
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Do I have a beacon? No, I
Actually, I wonder if it has enough horsepower to pull a seater.
Whoa. Stop sign. We run stop signs.
Wait, can you put a front loader attachment on that
No.
one? You can on the case though. So and the New Holland.
Yeah.
So we will get we will be able to get a front loader.
Not that we need one right now, but yes.
No, we just will when we need to get more seed and fertilizer.
Yeah, see, that kind of bugs me too, because I think, personally, that if I go there with a trailer, like, a simple flatbed trailer, or a truck like a Waffle House truck, that the store should load it in for you. Like they do in real life.
Yeah, definitely. Or they should have a spout that you can pull a tipper under.
Yes.
And then refill it like your farm silo. Except unlimited. And then they give you a discount for buying in bulk.
Oh my goodness.
This is a mod I want people, please, if there's any modders listening that know how to edit a tip trigger. Those silos that Giants released for refilling your fertilizers and seeders, change the trigger to tippers, please, I beg you. I tried for like 4 hours and had no success.
Hold on. I think I can still... Oh, you can't. They fixed that.
What did
Sad.
they fix?
You used to be able to grab the signs on the side of the road and yank them out.
Oh, yeah. I think you can still do that in single player. I just think it's a multiplayer thing. There's a lot of stuff that's not in multiplayer, like missions. Can't do missions in multiplayer.
Which stinks, because that's how I can make some money.
Exactly.
Here, I'm coming with my
People are
amazing
saying,
tractor.
oh, they can't do it in... Oh, man. It's like the smallest tractor ever. Like, it looks like a tractor... Like, if you take the cab off it, it would not look out of place in the 1920s.
It looks even better from the back. I don't know why, but it just...
It looks so wide from the back. That's great. I might buy one of those for my farm now, just cause.
It's like the perfect, just like, derp tractor.
What was I saying? Something, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's only episode 2 and you're tuning me out already, Dare. What's going on?
I was thinking about my silly tractor. Leave me alone. Okay, we've got the Hurleyman in order to do fertilizing. Can't turn on that radio. That's sad.
Copyright strike. Oh, can you... The intro music to Farming Sim is actually protected by copyright. I found that out when my live stream got a copyright strike.
Oh, nice.
Not like an actual, like, you have this against your record copyright strike, but I am sharing ad revenue with the company or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. which is actually like, which actually caught me by surprise because normally when that happens, they want to take all the ad revenue from the video, but no, they're only taking a percentage. So I don't remember what the percentage is.
Well, that
But,
was on. That's
because
on.
it's not like that live stream's going to make that much money anyway.
Was that on Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube.
Ah,
I don't
yeah.
stream on Twitch.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's. If it was always like that, if it was always, hey, you've got copyrighted music here, here's the percentage that we're going to take, here's the percentage you have, and if you had the ability to tell them, no, go blow smoke, you can't have 5% when you were in the video for 0.1%, then I'd be happy with it. But the fact that it's always, no, we take it all for videos.
Yeah, that's messed up. I completely agree with that. I've had, okay, granted, when I first started making videos, I was not the smartest person with making videos. So I actually had to mute the audio almost of like one of my early videos. I think it was like my 100 subscriber special or something like that. I ended up muting like the entire audio because I put Highway to the Danger Zone in there and was like flying around in an F-14. Yeah, it was weird. I was weird. So yeah, that was up for like a week.
Good job.
Yep. That was when I was still a scrub. A noob.
Wait, that's changed?
Yeah, okay. I know not to do that now, so lesson. I've at least gotten past lesson 1 of YouTube.
Alright, so this field is all done. That field
I might
is...
say I've got my associates in YouTube, and I'm working towards my bachelor's in YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to quantify it like that. I don't know.
Giants, your water texture is sad. Just gonna point that out.
It probably hasn't changed since 2009.
It doesn't look like it has.
I say that like I know. My first farming sim game was 2013. I played 2011, but I played 2013 first.
Alright, so this field is going to be all barley, because you're not going to screw up and use the wrong seed.
Yep.
And
In fact, if you told me to use a different seed, it would probably still be barley.
yeah, that's what I figured, so we'll just leave it at barley.
I'm not allowed to seed anymore.
Well, I might have parked the derpy tractor in the way.
I can move it if it is. Yep, I'm not going to scratch the paint on the new derpy tractor. I'm going to move it.
I'm just going to sit here on the porch and ruminate on the question of life. The answer is 42, but I'm going to ruminate on the question.
But nope. W is not gas anymore. W is forward. Oh, come on.
Okay, give up ruminating on the question. Oh, I can, that's right, I forgot. You can sort of...
Did you ruminate anything?
There, I'm sitting kind of on the... There, I'm sitting sort of on the bench. From my view. No idea what it looks like from your view, but I'm sitting on the bench.
Good. It looks like you're standing on the very top of the bench. Like on the backrest.
Good. I'm glad. Giants fixed this so I can use the bench. I want to use the bench. Or let me cut it down for scrap wood. Did you correct?
So, there, if I was going to play a different Final Fantasy game, which one should I start with?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Alright.
And I think they re-released it on, I think it's re-released on 3DS.
Oh, really? I'll actually have a use for my 3DS again.
I have a great use for my DS. It's called Animal Crossing.
Oh wow, that's a game I haven't heard in a long time.
Well, I don't play. Let's see. I don't have the. We don't have the 3DS, so it's not New Leaf. It's whatever one came before New Leaf.
Have you tried Stardew Valley on? I think it's only PC, but have you tried Stardew Valley?
Nope, not yet.
Once it goes on sale, you should pick it up because it's actually very good. I don't know how much like Animal Crossing it is. It's a farming game, but it's like manual farming instead of machine farming, and it's from like a top-down perspective. But it has like character development and backstories and stuff in it too, so it's actually really. I had a lot of fun with it. Uh, well, I don't know how it would compare to Harvest Moon. It seemed very similar to me because you can fish and mine, and there was even like a dungeon system. But
Yes, every single one of you people who commented screaming that it's not on the 3DS. Yes, I now know that because I just went and looked. Thanks.
yeah, yep, it's PC only, I think.
No,
Oh no, you're talking about Harvest Moon.
no, I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII. It's
Oh, Final Fantasy. There.
you can get it on Google Play, but don't because they want way too much stupid money and they're crazy peoples. It's a PS1 game, but they're also supposed to be a re-release. They announced 2015 that there's still no release date, but whatever. Um,
It might be coming to PS4. Be an excuse for my PS4 to get used again. I bought a PS4 exclusively for Ratchet and Clank, and then I added a few other games to that repertoire. So, namely the Uncharted series and The Last of Us,
my Xbox One
and
gets
Ace Combat when it comes.
my Xbox One gets used for Forza 5, Forza 6, and I have Sunset Overdrive as well.
Out. The only Forza game I have is Horizons 3, and I got that because you can play it on Windows 10. So,
Oh my God, you're on
I got it
Windows
for PC.
10? Ugh.
yeah,
Ugh.
I actually have not had any issues with it like a lot of people have.
I
Like everything that I've tried on it works perfectly except for Watch Dogs, and that's Watch Dogs, so I don't really care.
I let my Ultrabook upgrade to Windows 10. I liked it so much that we flashed Linux onto it a couple weeks ago.
Oh wow. I actually have do I have Xubuntu or just Ubuntu on my laptop? I have an old Gateway that I got my sophomore year of high school, which is like forever ago now. Or seems like forever ago now. It's forever ago by computer term.
Last year is forever ago
Oh.
by computer terms.
That's true. But this is a 2009 or a 2010 laptop, and I literally use it to take notes in class on Google Drive, and it runs. I think it's Ubuntu.
We need a bigger cedar.
Yes. Actually, the best cedar in the game. Hold on, let me check it for you, just so you know if you haven't really looked through them yet. It's not the biggest one. The best cedar is one of the 9-meter ones, the Horse Pronto 9 DC. That can cultivate, fertilize, and sow at the same time, and I think that's the only cedar that does that.
Okay. Well, that's going to be a long
So,
ways off at $96,000.
yes. Yes, it is. Because first you have to get a tractor that can pull it, and that's going to be like $200,000.
Yeah.
So,
You know what they need to
or
put
just
in?
wait for a mod tractor.
You know what they need to put in here? The ability to buy on loan, buy in installments.
Yes! That is what I think that the leasing system would be a lot more useful if you could do that. Like, when you take it back to the dealership, like, to return, just put an option where you can buy for, like, the difference plus 10% or something like that. So you still have a reason to buy outright, but
Well, or
if you
even
lease and you want to keep it, you have that option.
or even, you can lease it or you can buy it outright, or you can buy it on a loan, and the loan has an interest rate that is such that there is an advantage or maybe a disadvantage, I guess an advantage to you to do it that way versus lease it, but only if you hit certain like if we went and bought a $200,000 tractor right now on loan, then after X number of days we'd every day we'd pay our daily amount plus our loan amount. But if we ever didn't have the money, then the penalty would kick in such that the lease would be the more logical thing, something like that. Either way, I'm tired of leasing and or buying wholly. I want to just buy and pay it off over time like a real farmer.
Yeah. Now, I would think that modders could do that if they could make that renting system from 15.
Oh, I'm sure they could.
Yeah. Modders, are you listening? Good ideas in this in these videos. So we need DerTebbers' buy on loan, and we need my buy seed and fertilizer in bulk. That's what we're at so far. I'm sure there's going to be one or two more thrown out.
Usually there will be.
Yeah.